LCARA Ham Radio presents a Time Machine Tuesday vintage video release.
Welcome to Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. You can find us at LCARA.net, on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. If you're enjoying the videos we're producing here at LCARA, please help our club out by hitting that subscribe button. Also, give us some feedback on our videos. Click the like button, share with anybody who may find it interesting, and be sure and hit the bell icon to make sure you get notified of the next video release. All right, good morning, folks. This is Chris, KY4CKP, and today we're going to talk about some of the ongoing work we are doing with our emergency communications trailer. We've done a few videos in this series and continuing to do some work on the trailer, especially with summer field day coming up in less than 2 weeks. And for our club, Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association, we also have a few more activities planned throughout the rest of the summer and coming into the winter. We try to use our trailer and get it out as often as we can for our own use and enjoyment and for various public activities. So here you can see the panel, the custom panel we talked about last time. You can see it's all finished up, labeled, has the solar, the blue panel there, the solar charge controller and the meter. And above that you can see a previous custom panel that AC4DM did for the trailer, the red one there with some power outputs and some meters there for the house power. So in this video coming up, we're going to talk about, again, some of the work he and I did recently, and just continuing to build out the trailer and make it useful and enjoyable for the club to use. So we'll get into that in the next segment, and we'll bring you folks right back. All right, folks, so here we are. We're taking a look, and we're just going to go over a couple of the main things we did yesterday down at LCARA Worldwide Headquarters. So we got some supplies together, some Anderson power pole supplies, heat shrink tubing, some ring terminals, some number 10 wire, things like that, so that we could create some custom pigtails and cables and things to put in for this new house battery, and for, as you'll see a little bit later, a container, a box, and a portable battery that we can use for the electronic start on the big generator. But here we're starting out with the basically getting some things ready for the new house battery that Brian, KY4BDP, picked up, a 100 amp hour deep cycle battery. So we have 2 of those in the trailer. So not only can we use shore power anytime that's available to us, but we have our internal house batteries that can give us some fairly decent length of time and power availability. We have our solar panels we're going to be able to hook in. We have the generators that can provide power. We have some portable power box options and things. So pretty much no matter where we go and what we're doing, we're going to be able to provide power for our activities. So here we're just kind of showing we had some supplies gathered together, and we were crimping and soldering and making up some, again, some custom pigtails. Pretty much doing everything with Anderson power poles, although the direct connections to the batteries and things, we were just using some ring terminals that you can see here. So just cut some custom length cables for the dimensions we had in the trailer there. The battery is sitting on the floor of the trailer right underneath this tray, and it's bolted in, so whenever we're moving the trailer, it's not going to move around. And the other house battery is in under one of the benches, which would be behind us and to our right in the orient of the picture. So we created various custom cables yesterday, probably half a dozen total maybe. And took our time. Don did a good job, good crimps and solder and heat shrink tubing, glue lined heat shrink tubing a lot of the times to help seal things up. And then the 45 amp Anderson power pole connectors typically for these kinds of connections. So that works out well. And again, he had some of this number 10 red and black cabling ready for us. This is some of the previous cabling that Don had done in the trailer. And he's got little tags, little labels on these. One is going to be for the solar input. We have our 200 watt panels currently that you may have seen in the previous video. And the other one again is for kind of the internal power there at the bench, where we can hook up to the battery. And Don also already had a 30 amp iota power supply. And we got to looking around, and he just sort of magically, as tends to happen, when somebody's been in a hobby for a long time. He had a 19-inch rack panel that already had holes drilled for the IO to power supply. So here's the IO to power supply. It's the DLS 30 amp. And we looked at that panel and found some holes that fit perfectly. He had apparently had one of these mounted once before. So we're going to use this power supply to help charge and maintain the battery. And then if we're offshore power, or whatever the case is, then we can use the power right off the battery as well. So we'll be mounting this into the floor-to-ceiling 19-inch rack we have in the trailer. That's at the end of one of our workstations. And he's also got some trays and things that we can put in there. We'll see those here in a little bit later, where we can deploy or have whatever we want to in the in that rack. So whether it's some of our Go boxes with different kinds of radios, or some other meters and things, or whatever we decide and want to put in there. So here we can see the panels mounted in the rack. Down there towards the bottom, again, pretty much right behind that panel, that IO power supply is the new house battery, the 100 amp hour battery. Again, it's bolted to the floor in its battery box so that it doesn't move around anywhere if we're underway. So we got all that set up. We got all the cables and everything tested out. Here's a short video just kind of showing that. There's our rack, floor-to-ceiling rack, and he custom cut the rails and put in the angle brackets to hold it in. Okay, and here you can see we just put in a few of the trays that he had, and we just got out a couple of our Go boxes, a 2-meter 70 centimeter C4 FM radio, and a packet radio is right above that, just kind of showing that we can have some stuff in this rack, whatever we might want to do for that particular outing. And of course we could move these around or take them out or mount some other things in there. We just were putting these in here and giving ourselves some ideas about what we may want to do with this. So again, you can tell we have some generators available to us, some outdoor pop-up tents and things when we're doing different activities. And we've got that nice panel at the top there as well. So that'll do it for that section. We got the new house battery input with the custom cables and everything, and we'll bring you back here in just a moment in the secondary section of what we did yesterday, which was work on a housing for a smaller battery that we can use for the electronic start on the big generator, the big Honda generator. And we wanted a nice housing to hold the battery, protect it, and we've got Anderson power poles where we can connect that. And so we'll show how we put that together in the next segment, and we'll be bringing you folks right back. All right, so in part 2 here, folks, what we wanted to just show is we were working on this lawnmower battery, 12-volt battery, for being able to use for the electronic start on the big generator, the Honda. And we wanted this some kind of a box for it. And I said, hey, if we had one of those storage ammo cans, something like that would probably be a pretty close fit for that thing. And you know how it is. Don says, oh, you know what? I just happen to have, I think, an extra one of those laying around. So sure enough, he had one of these nice bright orange ones. And of course, plastic, so it's not metal. It's not going to short on anything. So that worked out great. And so we were taking a look at this. A pretty good match. Of course, high visibility. And so we made some modifications to this storage can to hold this battery, so that not only will it help protect it and keep dust off of it and things like that, but has a handle, makes it easy to transport. And Don and I in a previous work session added a Anderson power pole, kind of a pigtail, to the generator so that you can hook up a battery nice and easy to it. So again, we made some custom cables to attach to this battery. And it just kind of worked out that one of the sort of tail ends to some of the wire we had used earlier for the new house battery in the trailer was long enough to do with this. So again, a little bit of soldering, some ring terminals, and we had some nice new cables for this little starter battery for the generator. So we created the new cables, mounted them onto the battery, and this storage can has a little tray. We made some modifications to the tray so the tray can still fit in there and potentially hold some things that we may want to have in there. And then just put a little hole in the side of the box and brought these little Anderson power pole pigtails out. And so this battery, we put in a brace inside, as we'll see here in a moment. Nice storage for that, and we'll make it easy to be able to start that generator when we use it in the field. In fact, we used it a few weeks ago at our testing session that we had, and we put out some information on that testing session recently as well. So we put a wood brace in there just to hold the battery nice and steady, and mounted that from the side. Now everything's mounted up probably 1.5 inches at least from the bottom, so that if there is an acid leak, this container is still watertight down towards the bottom, and it's meant to be inside. It's not really, necessarily meant to be in monsoon conditions outdoors or anything per se. But if it was an acid leak, it'll still still keep the acid from just going all over the place. So you can see we put in the brace. We got it in our cabling. We put a pass-through hole to get that little pigtail out, and you can set this right over by the generator wherever we have that deployed. You can see the Honda red generator sneaking in on the left-hand side there, and use the electronic start on the generator. And again, we just had that generator out and used it. What was it? Been 3 weeks ago, a month ago, at our last testing session that we did, where we had 9 folks pass their exams, and had some new techs and some people upgrading and things. So it was a good testing session. So again, simple project. Just took a little bit of time. We just, again, here's that tray that was in there, and we just made some modifications so that it could still sit down over the terminals for the battery, and also have enough room for the cables that were connected on and that kind of stuff. So if you do want to put a few things in there, that component to this box is still there and still works for things. And again, just put in a small hole pass through for the Anderson power pole pigtail that we created for that. It's a simple project, but it's just one of those things. A lot of the stuff that we tend to do on some of these work days, a lot of it's not hard work. It's just, if nobody ever takes the time to do this kind of work, it just doesn't get done. And, you do 2 or 3, these things in a day, and you spend 2 or 3 hours, and you get them done, and then once they're done, you're in good shape, and you've got some new usable equipment or capabilities or whatever it is. So again, even though we have our dedicated work days, a lot of times those are dedicated to specific repeater functions and things like that. So every now and then one of us will get together and we'll just do a few of these maintenance chores and things like that. So it turned out really well. The new house battery, the new this new little container and battery for the electric start on the generator there. Turns out, well, we're good to go. Just a few more things getting us ready for our field activities for the rest of the year. And that'll pretty much wrap this one up, folks. So this is Chris, KY4CKP, for Lake Cumberland Amateur Radio Association. Get out there, enjoy your hobby, enjoy your radios, work with your club, do some of the hands-on stuff. Some of us find that stuff kind of fun too, getting out the soldering gun and the heat gun and those kinds of things. Enjoy the hobby, and we'll be bringing you some more videos as always. So that'll wrap it up. 73, everybody.